I have a strategy. I don't pitch podcasts. I want them to notice me. So the way that I think about this is I have a list, always a running list of like 10 podcasts that I want to be on, specifically that I think I could be of service to their audience. Like there are podcasts out there that are very big, but I don't think their audience would find me helpful. Like I don't do makeup content. I don't do health and wellness content. So, I'm not aiming for those ones. I'm aiming for really smart, talented entrepreneurs or professionals. Maybe they want a little bit of social help. So I'm like, okay, who are they listening to? I have a running list of 10. So make your list of 10 where you could help their audience. Like not just you like them, but like that whatever you have to say or offer could be super helpful for them because it can be a way easier pitch. Then you should write 5 hooks that you think their audience would like. So like, let's take, for example, let's take Mel Robbins, for example. So I was a big fan of Mel. I love, she has a lot of very smart listeners. And I noticed that her viral content, her best content had very specific kind of headlines. So my team and I sat down and we made a list of what topics we thought would go viral for her. Not for me, but for her. Then I went and I made that content. Either I made it myself, like in my YouTube channel here, or I went on a smaller podcast and tested the content, clipped that content from that podcast, and tried to get it to go viral so that her team would see that content and I could recreate it for her. And so that is exactly what has happened, I would say over 50 times, is I've created content and then we remake it. Or I make it myself, or I make it on a podcast where I'm testing the material. Like, all my content, it has to be packaged the right way to be helpful. So like, for example, for a long time, let's get very specific. So I had an idea to encourage people to break out of their social awkwardness with social exposure theory, which is basically this idea that you go out and you know that you're going to fail, but you say hi to as many people as possible. You feel their rejection and realize you're okay, right? Like that's a very specific challenge. So I had been trying to teach that content on a couple different podcasts. I tried it on my YouTube channel. It didn't go very viral. I tried it in a story. It didn't go very viral. I then tried it on 3 or 4 different podcasts, like trying to explain it to the host. Only kind of went well. And then I nailed it on a medium-sized podcast. Like I got it right. And it got like 20 or 30,000 views, which is kind of viral, like in our world, kind of viral. And that got the attention of Jay Shetty's producers, or I think one of those did. And I went and redid it on his podcast because I knew I was ready for it. And then that content hit and helped so many people. And that is like, has millions of views, that clip now. But I had practiced that clip 12 times before it made it to him where it was ready to be like used and digested. So if you want to get on these bigger podcasts, brainstorm the hooks that you think could be most helpful, and then deliver them on your own channel. Try to get them to get some clicks and go viral. You can then send it to the producers, or you can try to hop on medium-sized podcasts to try to get that word out that that's one of your big tips.
Yeah. I think that's so cool. It's interesting too, because I think a lot of people are just hoping they're going to say something that happens to go viral where you're like, okay, here's the person. What can I say? What's the story? And like thinking through it and then creating like the viral moment as opposed to like hoping there's just magically going to happen. You know what I mean? It's so interesting.
And by the way, there are some very talented people where that does happen. Or for example, sometimes you'll be verbalizing something and you're like, whoa, that came out really good. That was really good. That can happen, but don't leave it up to chance.
Yeah.
Like I think strategizing, and remember, I think the intention here is helpful, right? Like, yes, virality, but like what is going to make people want to take out their pen and take notes?
Yeah.
That's the goal.
It's interesting. I look at my content very similar. Like the thing that I'm best at is long form. Like my shortest, like a 90-minute webinar to a 5-day event. Right. So like I'm much better longer form. And so for me though, to fill up 5 days of me speaking on stage for 8 hours a day, for an event, like an event we're doing, it's like I have to have a lot of stories, but I do the same thing you're talking about. It's like I don't just like show up like, I hope I got a story for today. Like for the last 2 decades of my life, like I'll have an idea or something, and then like I'll be at the gym and I'll tell it to my trainer, and then and then I get home and I'll say it to my wife, and then every time it's like, I didn't really land, or like, let me change it. And I go to the office, I'm like, hey guys, check this out, and I say to the office, see what they say, and then I'll record a little podcast on my phone and put it out. Like I'll do like 10, 15, 20 variations of it till it's like, okay, I know how to tell this story in a way that's going to just drop the second I need it to. And then,
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I think we should have like 10 practice people. Like, yes, my poor trainer has to hear all my tips. Like, while I'm like lifting,
yeah. I'll pay you monthly for my training fees instead of
let's talk about overcoming limiting beliefs for a second. I'm like lifting because I'm trying to get this story right. Yes. Yeah. Like, I think that there's a mistaken belief that you have to be expertly charismatic on the first go. And the way you deliver something, there is a science to delivery. And so you don't have to get it right the first time. It takes a little bit to practice verbalizing something in a way that's going to land. And really, really good speakers do the work ahead of time. They're like, I'm not going to make my listener parse this out. I'm going to do the work to make sure I have the right conflict and challenge and words and metaphor. It's not too long. It's not too short. I'm going to do the work for them so that when it hits their ears, they're like, yes, click.